Okay, good afternoon, greetings, salutations. This is Passionate Bliss, and I am here for the first episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. Okay, on this reunion, I think Andy comes out the gate, making it clear who his favorite is. The only person he is seen talking to before the show starts is Porsha. Um, he and Porsha have a lot of history together. They have a good relationship, a good rapport. They play, they laugh, they clown, and I think that Andy is a little bit proud of Porsha for being a part of the new Rainbow community member and joining full fledged. Um, he also pretty much briefs with her on where she is, that she can end up in a good relationship with everybody on the show except Shamia. And she agrees with that. Angela is correct. The women all look very nice in their dresses. I like all the hairdos. Kelly, I believe, has on the ugliest dress of everyone there. Her dress is the only one that I can do without. I don't know what that hoop behind her head is. Is it a headrest? I don't understand why she has two rows of pearls going from shoulder to shoulder in an arc behind her head. So she has the stupidest dress on, even though she seems to think that she is setting the standard for fashion and luxury, when she's actually the brokest one on the show. And yeah, so Kelly wins for ugliest dress. Pinky is the first one to come out. She sits out on the couch and she is wearing a lovely dress. Nothing is showing or hanging out. She's completely covered, and she does look like it is a very elegant, very classy maternity dress. And she does make the announcement that she is pregnant. She's having another baby. They do a little warm up where Andy pretty much, jumps around the room, talks about things here and there in the beginning. And during that warm up, he talks about how all the women on the stage have been in some type of female relationship except for Angela, Phaedra, and Shamia. And Shamia admits that she's kissed a woman. Then it also comes up that when Shamia was asked about the women on the cast, she makes a comment to Porsha, "Happy Pride." And Porsha's comment back to her was, "Happy Pride to you too." Because I do not believe Shamia when she said that she's never been with a woman. My first thought was Maury, and the lie detector test saying that was a lie. Because that's the first thing Porsha shot back. I've been said that I thought that those two have slept with each other. I've always said that. And that just to me confirmed it again when Porsha said, "Well, happy Pride back to you," because she's letting Shamia know that she is holding a lot of their secrets that they had together. But if you continue to be cute about her being, in a lesbian relationship now, then she gonna get cute with you too. And I also noticed that Shamia has shut up about that and also tried to say it was sincere. She really meant it. And Porsha said, "Okay, well, thank you," just to get it over. And so she's, I believe, gonna stop being cute with Porsha about that. And so all the women, Andy starts going around discussing how their season went on the show. The only two he really went into detail with about how their season went was Drew and Porsha. He talked about her many relationships, how they all failed. They showed all of her ex-husbands and her ex-fiance, and shows how she is with Sway now. She's glowing, talking about Sway, and she says that she is in love. She feels that there's no competition with her in any aspect, and she believes that she is only about to ascend with Sway. And I'm happy for her with that. I want that for her, and I believe that for her. And so Porsha, people have said that she doesn't really like women, that she's faking, she's being gay for pay, and it's a storyline for her. I don't believe that. Porsha has always been interested in women. Many seasons back, Porsha has shown an affinity towards women. But I think that at her age, back then, she was not able to see being in a serious relationship with a woman. She was not entertaining that seriously for a long-term relationship. And I think that as she got older and more disappointed with men, that she did become open to entertaining it seriously. And she finally met one that was rich enough for her. Porsha is not going to date no broke man. Nobody's Porsha age. No woman Porsha's age should be dating a broke man. You got some stuff, he should have some stuff by now too. Or she, if you want to go that route. So people trying to shade Porsha because Sway's got money, that's ridiculous. Nobody that age should be dating a broke man. You should only be dating a broke man if you're both broke. You're both in college. You're both struggling. You're both trying to get to where you want to be. But after a certain age, you should be there. And so she's finally found one that was rich enough for her, because she man always wanted a rich man. She was going to always have a rich man, and that's her right to say that, because she didn't come from broke people. Porsha's people always had money. So she seems to be very happy, and she is embracing the rainbow community, and she is saying that she is full on gay. I'm not even gonna mention the fake relationship she had with Mike. I don't believe that was real at all. But anyway, it's over. Let's see. He also mentions that Porsha and Phaedra also both dated Mike, the fake relationship. Phaedra didn't have him on camera nowhere that I ever saw, but she looks like Mike's type. He like him thick in the hips. And so I could see him dating Porsha and Phaedra seriously. He is an actor, however. And I believe he was a paid actor on this show. Some of y'all disagree with me, but I think he was a paid actor on this show with Porsha as well. But again, I can't see Porsha. Well, you know, I can't put it past them, because Kenya Moore sure paid plenty of them to be with her. Let's see. Porsha then talks about her interactions with K.Michelle. Her impression of K.Michelle was on point, and it did make me cackle. She sounded just like K.Michelle when she was imitating her. She was imitating K.Michelle and how she flip-flopped on her. And she did flip-flop on Porsha. They came in being a friend, and Porsha ushering her in and trying to be there for her. And K.Michelle, you know, did let other people get in her head about Porsha and poison her against Porsha. I do think that happened on the show, which K.Michelle does later go on to admit that did happen. And she said that she regrets that she let other people get in her head and poison her against the others on the show. And she felt that she should have never been trying to get ahead of what people were saying was going to happen. She should have just let it happen. And they all are in agreement with that. Andy advises her, you know. And then also Porsha was talking about her things that she tweeted. And K.Michelle was saying that, and Porsha was confused as to, I thought we had moved past it. We had a sit down. We came to terms over it. I let you know that I wasn't, you know, coming at you that way with the miscarriage. And then you go on Twitter, you know, a few weeks later, and you go off again about it. And then K.Michelle explains her tweets, and it comes out, and it's finally clear to them that she was tweeting as if she was in a confessional, and she was explaining how she felt in that moment. Not that she still felt that way, but she was explaining in that moment how she felt. And so that gave Porsha some clarity. I honestly think that K.Michelle and Porsha can move past this. I think that they can get past it and move on. Because K.Michelle did get in her own way, and I thought she was acting like a bird, letting those people get in her head like that at her age. You wouldn't expect that to be possible at her age, but, you know, I guess it does happen. And I think that that's pretty much it for Porsha's section for right now. But I'm sure it's going to come back up again with Porsha and some of the ladies. The only other person he really went into detail with, again, was also Drew Sidora. And he did also go into detail with K.Michelle. But with Drew Sidora, he talked about her love interest, Black. And Drew is standing beside him, even though that he has, K.Michelle tried to shade him about him scamming women and taking advantage of Black women. And they talked about his legal issues that he was having. He was being sued. And Drew Sidora stood beside him as a friend. And she said that she loves him, that he is a wonderful person, and that he has legal issues, but there has been no evidence that he's guilty of any scamming or anything like that. And that K.Michelle throwing shade about him taking advantage of women is because K.Michelle did paid promotion for a skin product for the woman that's suing him. So K.Michelle is not no reliable source that he's a scammer. So she's standing beside him, and I appreciate that as a friend. And she did make me cackle when she pulled out that cutting board that the directors use when they cut a scene, and she closed her board on K.Michelle. She was funny. Everybody gave her props for that. And Andy went and actually even used her prop when he was trying to get them to be quiet at one point. And so she did a good one. She got off a good one with that cutting board. They also talked about how Drew got a BBL. So what? Most of them do. And then she did shade K.Michelle and said it's not leaking, so it's doing a good job. That was light shade. It did hit home. And hey, it was a nice return serve. Then also they talked about how Ralph is the one that has primary custody during the school year, and so I guess at that point she will pay child support. So, but I discussed that already. It is what it is. He was able to prove that she was more absent than present, and that he was the one that needed to be there during the school year. So, it is how it is. And that's the only thing that Phaedra explains, that she does have to pay him child support for when the kids are in school. Let's see. It also came out that Kelly has a locked box on the door of her restaurant that they all went to the grand opening of. I thought that she was a successful businesswoman. I thought that she had multiple businesses that she owned of these, waffles and pancakes restaurants. And Drew Sidora went by there with her camera and showed the lockbox on the door. So she is officially now the brokest one there. I thought she was about to build her business up, make a comeback, and here you are with padlocks on your door of your restaurant and got $70,000 worth of teeth. That's crazy to me. You don't have a home, you're losing your business, and you got a man investing $70,000 on your teeth. That's hustling backwards. That's hustling sideways. That's not even hustling. That's crazy. But they say he's going to be here at the reunion. Jarvis, is that what his name was? But anyway, yeah, he's supposed to be there. And so the only person he also went into detail with was K.Michelle, about her first season being here. K.Michelle talked about how she's still the only black woman in country music in Nashville, signed to a Nashville label, and that they still expect her to be the angry black woman. She's still not allowed to do certain things. She's still breaking down barriers in country music, but she is signed to a Nashville record label. And so yeah, she talked about that, and she did talk about what she appreciates all the women. They showed the clip of her talking about at her opening about what she appreciates about all the women on the show. And I think that K.Michelle has come full circle. I think she has seen the lay of the land. I think she has seen, who she should be cool with and who she shouldn't be cool with, and who she should, open up to and give a chance to. I think she's figured it out the hard way by going down the wrong road first. Because I think Shamia did get in her head and poison her against Porsha and Phaedra and all of them. And they talked about, let's see, what else with K.Michelle? Talked about her husband and her marriage, how she is one of those wives who's willing to willing to look the other way if the husband cheats. She needs to not see it, because she said realistically, going through what she's going through, all these surgeries, all these medical issues, if he can't wait for her to heal up and he needs to dip out, she ain't go get uptight about that. And she said that she has dipped out before. He has dipped out before. She said it's not an open marriage, but she's being, I get what she's saying. She's being realistic. The man is not going to go for months. I don't know why some of y'all women think these men are going to be your husband and you don't have sex with him for months and nothing's going to happen somewhere else. That's just what's going to happen. And so they, they have an understanding. I'm sure part of the understanding is that he is to keep it on the low. He is to keep it out her face. He is not to, get ridiculous with it. And probably he can't have no real full-on relationship where it's the same woman over and over. So I'm sure that they have rules, but she does not consider it an open marriage, an open relationship. So she know what it is. If she's not available, he's free to go ahead and do what he want to do, as long as it's respectful and it's out of her face. I think that's pretty much all he connected to that I was mentioning. He did talk a little bit to Angela. Really, he just talked about her calling Pinky Mr. Clean and Papa Smurf. And they said that Angela won that round, but Pinky did stand her ground and, try to come back, but Angela did win that round. Angela is excellent at her reads. And Angela does do her research. And Angela don't try to hide it. They like to pretend like they don't be calling around and asking for dirt on one another, but Angela does. And she ain't even trying to hide it. And she will bring your dirt up. So I think that's pretty much how it went for episode 1. Let me know if I missed anything that you thought was important. I think it's going to be a good reunion. They seem to have a lot. I didn't feel like that was even an hour, but I guess it was. And so, they have a lot to go over. They haven't touched on a lot. And so, I'll see you next time for part 2 of the reunion. Comment, like, subscribe, all of the above.